Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here. For today's project, I'm sharing how I used coordinating dies without the stamps to create a beautiful card. Now I'm going to start by doing some direct to paper inking, and I am using wintergreen and apricot inks, and I'm just going to start at one end of my white cardstock and drag it down to the other end. And you can see I kind of have some areas where the ink pad kind of grabbed the paper, but I'm just going to keep going over that just really lightly. And once this soaks in, that completely goes away, and this background turned out so absolutely fabulous. Now I also decided I will be doing some splattering, so I am going to use terracotta and ginger. I'm just pressing that on my work surface, adding a little bit of water, and then dipping my brush in it and tapping it against my finger to add splatters to that inked area. And as you can see, that's already adding a ton more interest to this background. So that's the terracotta. I am going to use ginger. Then I will also bring in the wintergreen once this background is done. And as you can see, the background cardstock, the ink is already soaking into that. So everything's kind of already smoothing out, which is what dye inks will do once it dries. So here's that wintergreen. And then I decided I wanted to bring in some gold. So I had some, I think it's Lumiere Art or Luminart, that's what it is. Luminart Sunburst. It is a metallic watercolor, and I want to splatter that on the background as well. First, I decided to spritz some water in my hand and drop some big droplets onto that background, and then I just would pat it dry with my dry rag. Here is the metallic watercolor. So I just added some water to that, stirred it around, and then I'm just going to tap that all over the background. I'm going to let this dry. I did take my heat tool first to it for the most part, and then I put it aside to dry. It only took a few minutes. I wanted to make sure that that watercolor was nice and dry before we did some die cutting. So now I have the frame from the Roses coordinating die that goes with the stamp set, and I'm going to use that frame to die cut this out. So I just want to tape that in place with some low-tack tape and then run that through my die cut machine. Now, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to show you how I used coordinating dies without the stamp set. So this is one of those things that can make your products go a little further if you wanted them to. This works great with dies that you can tell what they are. So I will be using the A Beautiful Day stamp set, and so here are those butterfly dies. So obviously you can tell it's a butterfly. So make sure your dies are something that you can recognize without the stamp set. So I'm just going to lay those where I want that to die cut out, tape that down, run that through the die cut machine. Now I'm also going to die cut these butterflies 3 more times each from white cardstock. Now I want to stamp my sentiment, and this says, "Hello, beautiful friend," and I'm stamping that with black ink in between where those 2 butterflies are going to be. Now I have my die cut pieces, and I'm just going to glue those together. This is going to give us a nice chipboard look. This is going to pop these images up off the background. And I'm using white because I wanted to keep it soft, but you could use any color underneath. And the more you stack it, the higher it goes. You're going to see a lot of that color, which can be a lot of fun and really, really interesting. So I'm not using the stamp set to stamp the images onto the butterflies. I'm just using the dies because, number one, you can tell what it is. And this is just going to give us a really nice die cut look. So let's adhere this to a white A2 size card base. Then we can adhere down those butterflies, and they're going to have a ton of dimension because now it's 4 layers of thick cardstock. I use 110-pound cardstock, so it's nice and thick. So I can pop those in place, and look at how beautiful that is. And then let's add some gold sequins to finish it off. And then this card is completely done. And we stretched our products a little bit further. And then you have this beautiful, beautiful butterfly card without the stamp set. So I hope that this inspired you guys to dig through your stash and find some beautiful die cut images that have coordinating stamps that you don't actually need to use. So thank you guys so very much, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.